I hate the mentality of I'm going to work out today or I'm going to do XYZ so I can earn my meal or so I can earn this food. No, it's food. You don't need to earn something that you need to survive. You don't need to actively use it as a reward when without it you would die. A bloody TikTok video, something we haven't done for a while, but I figure something that allows me to talk about multiple things and give multiple tidbits of information that can hopefully help you along your training journey. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. And we've got 4 TikToks in particular I want to look at and 4 TikToks in particular I want to discuss that will hopefully give you some useful information that might provide some kind of benefit to your life. So we got Chrissy, 5 things people don't tell you before you start the gym. As a woman, you need to train your upper body. I mean, technically you don't need to, but I would definitely say if you want to build a balanced physique, again, very much depending on your goals, I would definitely say a lot of women do often neglect training their upper body, and I would highly recommend ensuring you train the upper body as hard as you train the lower body, again, depending on your goals. Lack of sleep will massively mess up your progress. Absolutely, honestly, this is such a big thing. So I think sleep is commonly overlooked regarding the importance of the role it plays in not only your recovery, because again, you don't recover when you're training, you recover when you're resting, and sleep is the large part of resting, but also the role it plays in your mental health. If you're sleep deprived, not only are your hormones going to get impacted by that, because again, sleep can massively impact hormone regulation, but also your mood's going to be impacted by that. Your performance is going to be impacted by that. Your recovery is impacted by that. When sleep is out of whack, a lot of things tend to crumble. Again, we'd always say sleep as much as you can, but if you can get at least 7 hours a night, then you're probably doing okay. You do not need to earn your meals. You can only progress when you're eating. Yeah, honestly, 100%. I hate the mentality of I'm going to work out today or I'm going to do XYZ so I can earn my meal or so I can earn this food. No, it's food. You don't need to earn something that you need to survive. You don't need to actively use it as a reward when without it you would die. Food is fuel. Without fuel, you can't drive the car. You are the car. You do not need to earn the petrol. You need to put the petrol in the car so you can actually take the car from A to B. You probably have setbacks, but that doesn't mean you stop, just keep going. At the end of the day, progress in all capacities is never linear. Progress in the gym where you overload every week, not going to be linear. Progress regarding your consistency, regarding injuries, regarding whatever it may be, will never be linear. When you are pushing your body and trying to do something your body may not have done previously, at some point your body is going to say, actually hang about. Yes, you can mitigate the likelihood or chance of injuries by recovering efficiently, making sure recovery metrics are in check, and also ensuring you're not doing too much. But niggles, injuries, and setbacks in all capacities are going to be part of life, and that's just how it is, unfortunately. Sam Sulek. So Sam is somebody who I'm actually a big fan of. I've spoken about him on the podcast before. I'm going to speak about special back and buys. Let's find out.
I saw a clip of old Mike Mentzer, and he was really hyping up close grip, underhanded pull downs, and doing them in a way where you focus on flexing your biceps.
I mean, technically, yes, when you do adopt like an underhand grip, when you're doing any kind of pull down or rowing motion, you are going to experience more elbow flexion, which means the biceps are going to be more involved because again, you're bending the arm more. But when it comes to actually directly training the biceps and trying to maximize bicep growth, I would still say the best way to typically train a muscle that you want to prioritize and grow is by training it directly, not indirectly doing a movement like a pull down. So for example, when you're doing a pull down, a primary driver of that movement is probably going to be your lats and just back musculature in general. Your biceps obviously heavily going to be involved, but probably not as involved as if you were just doing a regular dumbbell curl. Again, good movement, absolutely fine, but would I choose to do it for biceps? No, I probably just stick to regular elbow flexion variations, so just curl variations. Bicep curls, preacher curls, cable curls, things along those lines. It doesn't need to be fancy, it doesn't need to be exciting, but what it does need to be is effective. I'm not stating that this is not effective, I'm just stating that it's probably not as effective as other movements. And there will be some studies out there that say, oh, this study showed that this person experienced X amount more percentage of muscle activation doing an underhand grip pull down than they did a bicep curl. Again, things like EMG studies are not massively accurate, and also the proof is in the pudding. Best results typically come from training the bicep directly rather than indirectly. Lean beef patty leg day workout. Okay, I like a leg day. Let's have a gander. I like the lean beef patty as well. Mobility warm up. That's one thing I do appreciate about lean beef patty. She always does prioritize mobility and warm ups. Hack squat 3x15. Rep range is a bit wild. I typically find with hack squat when you are doing higher reps, your breathing will probably give out before your quads do. Then that presents the argument of, is this an effective movement for taking your quads to failure or an effective movement for taking your breathing to failure? I typically do prefer lower reps on these kind of movements. You've got split squat. Again, I can't fault it. At the end of the day, a split squat is a split squat. Do I like the split squat? Give me context. Do I like it for its effectiveness? Absolutely. Great movement. Fantastic movement. Do I like it for how it makes him feel? Absolutely not. Worst movement in the world. Honestly, every time I bring up split squats, there's always a problem. Some say this is trauma. Some say this is reliving memories and thoughts of what split squats have done to me previously. And others might say I'm being a bit of a sausage. But regardless, I don't like them. They hurt my feelings. They hurt my heart, and they're the reason I'm in therapy multiple times a week. Back extensions, yeah, to us, a really good movement. The one thing here is what she's doing with her back, where she's actively trying to round her back quite excessively. That does not necessarily impact how the glutes are working here. What we're trying to do to obviously bring the glutes a bit more into it is we bend the knees slightly. We kind of refer to this by kind of stating the hamstrings are experiencing what we call active insufficiency, which is where you're shortening the muscle across one or more of its joints, which then reduces how much tension is going through that muscle, which then in turn means that more tension is going to go through the glutes, which shifts this from being a hamstring dominant movement to a glute dominant movement. Slight bend in the knees, a bit more glute dominant. Straighten the knees and lock them out so straighter legs, a bit more hamstring dominant. So you can alter the bias and emphasis of this movement depending on just simply where you set up the pad and also how bent your knees are. That's pretty cool. Leg extensions, yeah, solid. Again, I've saved this with leg extensions. Whether you lean forward or lean back is completely up to you. The rec fem, which is a muscle of the quads, crosses both at the knee and the hip, which means that if you lean forward slightly, you will shorten that rec fem a bit more. And considering the leg extension is a rare shortened position dominant movement, as not many quad movements are shortened position dominant, especially ones that actually target the rec fem, you can certainly do so. But also you can lean back and train the rec fem through a slightly more lengthened position, which may yield better results because muscles, not always, but sometimes, often, do actually respond better to being trained in longer muscle lengths than shorter muscle lengths. Again, not always, but you may find it. And people have theorized that the quads may be one of those muscle groups. Post-workout stretching, yeah, you don't really need to stretch. Honestly, people are going to pipe up about this, but you don't need to stretch. Stretching does not reduce soreness. Will stretching massively impact your mobility? I'm uncertain, but if you can already go through the range of motion in life that you need to go through, doing whatever movements you need to do you need to be more mobile than that? Probably not. And will stretching reduce injuries? Again, probably not, to be honest. Very quickly, I must announce, as always, a link down below in the description. You have a few things. You've got the link to apply for coaching, where you can work with myself, Ryder, or Beth on a one-to-one basis, in which we will help coach you towards your goals, whatever they may be. You've also got the link to download a TFNL workout guide if you fancy a big, juicy workout guide with lots of information and actually training programs included within it. And you also got the link to sign up to one of the monthly group coaching platforms where you can work out like me, work out at home, or work out in the gym, depending on what you fancy. And all three of those groups will be less than your Netflix subscription. So if any of those tickle your pickle, have a gander down below in the description or maybe even the comment section and let your pickle be tickled. Oh, here we go. I see this guy pop up on my TikTok quite a lot, and I think it's satire. I think he's trolling, but if he's not, oh dear.
Having perfect form isn't necessary for gains in the gym. Of course it helps, but it's not like I won't gain muscle if my form isn't world class. As a new gym rat, my focus should be on getting the weight moving with as many reps as possible and not so much whether or not it's picture perfect.
There is actually some truth behind that, is that form does not have to be perfect. Oftentimes you see a lot of big guys in the gym that lift really badly, but the one thing they share is that they train really hard. Intensity is obviously going to be a big driver. Yes, we do want to lift with good form. I'm not saying don't lift with good form, but I'm saying that you don't need to have the best form in the world. Good form may reduce the likelihood of injury, and good form will also allow you to shift as much emphasis or tension over to the muscles you're actually looking to target rather than muscles you're not. For example, if you swing a bicep curl, you may reduce how much tension is going through the bicep and actually increase how much tension is maybe going through the lower back. Again, may allow you to lift more weight, but could actually reduce how much of the target musculature, being the bicep, is actually working. That being said, if you still train hard and take the biceps to failure through that range of motion, you're still going to experience results. Good form is always very important, and I always say if you're going to train to failure, which I often do suggest to people, do not let your form break down beyond what we say is reasonable. There's always a slight breakdown, it's okay, but I mean, to the point where you're potentially risking injury or shifting emphasis from one muscle to another now, having perfect form 24/7 is not make or break. Also, don't lift like a silly sausage. A bit of a combination of a couple of new names and a bit of a combination of a couple of older names, but nonetheless, hopefully some good information presented throughout this video, and hopefully some information you can carry forward and apply to your own training that might hopefully allow you to reach your goals a bit more efficiently. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because I would be very interested. But until the next time, thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating my TikTok waffle, and thank you for tolerating the video.